Hello everyone and welcome back to DJ's Gaming. We are doing the Versus series currently, and today we are having the Oathbound's Paladin Champion with his Volt Greatsword, so he does electric damage with Storm Discharge. And his psionic resistance, he's also stagger resistance, status effect resistance. He is weak against electricity while at the same time he produces electricity. Against all odds, the unit gains a 5% evasion for each enemy within 2 hexes of itself, so it wants to be surrounded. He is a large target, so he's 15% easier to hit with ranged attacks. In addition, it cannot take cover, but counts as cover for other units. Now, I don't know exactly how that works on the fact that he's also a flying unit. He has swooping overwatch. His unit can trigger melee overwatch on ground units. He is a battlesuit. He's an elite. He is flying. He is a heavy. So he cannot be staggered by high impact attacks and do not turn to face their attacker when flanked. He is mechanical and an Oathbound. This guy also has just natural armor and shielding. I mean, he is the frontline fighter. Goes in, usually use the Storm Discharge. It's a jump attack with a high impact, staggers units, and it's pretty much the equivalency of a one-shot artillery. And then once he gets in there, he has the swooping overwatch and the Volt Greatsword all to his advantage. He is, he gets in there and he does the work. He also has 60 hit points and, he's a pretty buff guy. He's also really, really fast. And today, we are going to have him face against the Kirko Engulfer, which is the Kirko's flying unit. Now, he is a tier 2, so I'm a little iffy on how this is going to work. He has a gunk thrower, which is acid. He does acid damage. Shoots a glob of biochemical matter at medium range. It is affected by the line of sight rules. He also has caustic smoke. Cover a 1-hex radius area with an acid cloud that melts armor and deals damage. So he can lower a target's armor. It ignores line of sight penalties, but it only affects ground units, so it will not affect the flying, anything flying. He does have a static effect resistance to burning and stun. He does crash down, so you don't want to have your units under him. But if you could get him, right before he dies, get him over the enemy units, then he dies and crushes them. It's hilarious. I've done it before. He has Farsight, so an increased range by 1. Swarm Shield, gaining a shield whenever he's adjacent to friendly units. This guy wants to swarm, which is something we have seen with all the Kirko units. They are swarming units. He's a biological flyer, Kirko, of course. Now, he is a light unit, and he's also a skirmisher, so he's more of an offensive type unit. Only has 40 hit points with 2 armor, no shielding, but he's still pretty fast at a 32 move. And being a flyer makes sure he can ignore, flying over things. And so today we are going to see which one is better. And this is one of the difficulties with dealing with the Oathbound, though. Their flyers are tier 3. Everyone else's flyers are tier 2s. And so I'm thinking he also has a defensive mode, as to where this guy does not have much of a defensive mode. Now, I'm curious to see. Okay, that's not what I want to do. I'll go here. I'm curious to see if this can damage flying units. I will have to wait till next turn, which I then get, and he also has a 3 attacks. So boom, boom, boom. And so he does some decent damage.
Available.
And it's caustic. Target cannot, so it cannot affect flying types. Okay. And that's the other thing. He only gets 1 attack. Now he does decent damage. Ow. And he staggers too. So that's... yeah, that's pretty tough. Plus there's an overwatch when I'm right next to him. And there's an overwatch if I run away. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. This flyer is a ranged unit. I've noticed it is more meant to give cover for the Kirko's tier 1 units. You know, being able to damage armor, and this is a decent ranged repeating melee or range attack with 90% chance of hitting. And now, see, this is the thing though, is he is not a melee unit. And that stagger, oh my gosh, that stagger. So, yeah, it's no surprise that this guy is going to win.
Eliminated. The predicted outcome.
So, yeah. Biggest difficulty here is the Oathbound. The Oathbound Paladin is a tier 3. And I mean, I only took out about half, you know, the Kirko took out about half of his hit points. So if he was facing against 2 of these things, he would have lost. There's a good chance he would have lost if he was facing 2 of them. But the fact that he was just facing the 1, you know, one-on-one, he does more damage. Yes, they get 3 hits that max out at 18 damage without crits. He does 1 hit at 22 damage, plus he has Overwatch. And so it's heavy damage. He's also a heavy unit that does, you know, massive amounts of damage. And so this is, I think, the guy that is the most powerful in the Oathbound units from tier 3. Like, you can't really counter him. He is a flying unit, so he's hard to hit because he's flying. And then he hits hard. And if he gets into melee combat with your ranged units, well, that just sucks. Because now he's going to sit there and swoop down and attack you. So, it's a tough battle. It's a tough battle. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.